day 4 of CoffeeVember, and it brings us to this little contraption, which actually is full of the scrapings of vermicelli and coffee and salt. But do you remember, with liquid washing machine stuff, it came with one of these rollerball things that you roll? So we're going to have fun with that today with the coffee, plus some rice. Okay, so let's make some room. You might be able to tell, but actually I've tidied my area. So I tidied everything away. Well, not everything. I've still got things about. But I needed to get rid of those bags. So they have ended up back in my buckets for the moment because they're not going to be used until December, if even then. But December possibly, because all of this month is coffee and other fun things to use with coffee. I try not to be wasteful, if at all possible. Sometimes it isn't possible. Right, so we've got 2 here. Let's get the jars open. Put that here. And we will now get into some coffee. First of all, we'll use up this. Just really slap it all on. It doesn't matter if it goes onto the piece of paper underneath because that's going to get coffeed as well. But after we've done this, just want to throw it all on. We want it to be really, really wet. So you might need to do another layer if it starts drying too quickly, because sometimes it seems to dry quick when I don't want it to, if the layers are too thin. So for me, it's absolutely fine if you have puddles of coffee. If you're going to be throwing, like I am in a minute, other products on top. Like, here we go. Let's just sprinkle the debris from in here. So in here we've got vermicelli, bits of salt, and bits of other coffee granules that didn't, they didn't all stick. So I was able to scrape them off. And then what I do to make space on my desk, I get a thicker piece of card and slide it under this and then move it to the radiator so that it can then dry flat, and I can move on and do another piece. I have to bash it because at the bottom, I don't know if you guys can see, but it must have been, because we have a very damp atmosphere, the salt at the bottom has attracted the damp, and so everything is quite wet in here and has stuck the vermicelli and the coffee. So you have to bash it to come out. And I think that's going to look quite good. We'll put that there. Some have escaped, and then it really does have to be left to dry thoroughly. Just get every little bit back on. Now with this second piece, there was still damp coffee and salt left in the container. So I soaked one corner of the paper with the coffee and then really tipped out the rest of the contents, and then carried on painting around it. And then for this final one, I got the paper and rubbed it all over the wet coffee on my desk, and then filled that rollerball contraption with liquid coffee from my jar and just rolled it across the paper to create a pattern, and then filled in that wet pattern with some rice. And then I'm painting around it. Here's what one of them looks like now it's dry.